People still don't like that I called gravity the weakest of the fundamental forces. Like, look, in a superhero context, yes, manipulating gravity is incredibly powerful. Again, manipulating any fundamental force is powerful. However, we're assuming that there's some sort of limit, right? Like, if a superhero could manipulate gravity without limit, the universe is over. Like, he's completely unbeatable. There is something that we assume limits these superheroes, some sort of exertion, some sort of power reserve, right? In which case, if you could finitely manipulate gravity, you could do more by finitely manipulating the same amount of the strong nuclear force. Like, if we take whatever requirement there is to manipulate a certain amount of gravity, and we say that would normally require X amount of mass, but the superhero could just do it with his super batteries. We have now established a mass to super battery relationship. A certain amount of mass's worth of gravitational effect is worth this much power that the superhero uses. Cool? Cool. Now here's the thing. You could produce similar effects with much less mass using something like the strong nuclear force. Which means that if we've created a mass to superpower battery relationship, a superhero that uses the strong nuclear force would use less of his power to do more stuff than the person who manipulates gravity. Because the strong nuclear force is, by definition, scientifically stronger than the force of gravity. That's not an opinion, that's just a scientific fact. And I know that it muddies the water when you're talking about fiction because you can make people in fiction do whatever you want, right? But if you have two superheroes, one which can control gravity and one which can control the strong nuclear force, and they both have equivalent power reserves, the one who controls the strong nuclear force is going to be able to do more. Again, by definition. People have often commented, well, if you could control gravity, you could control space-time. Yes, and do you have any idea how much mass it would take to do that? You are outputting a godly level of power to be able to manipulate gravity on that scale. Cool, we've created a godly being. If you had a godly being with the same amount of power manipulating the strong nuclear force, he could do more, including time dilation, because the strong nuclear force is where the majority of mass comes from. So you just get gravity powers via strong nuclear force powers, but you don't get strong nuclear force powers via gravity powers. Like, this is all a goofy discussion because we're talking about superheroes, but like, the facts are facts. The strong nuclear force is more powerful than gravity. We've measured it. The only thing I could say about gravity is that it acts over very long distances. But so does a strong nuclear force, just in a different way. It drops off very quick. And if you could forego the mass requirements for gravity, you could forego the distance requirements for the strong nuclear force. And the strong nuclear force still wins.